I've been changing up how I've been doing my daily and quarterly and annual review to include Google Forms. This is kind of a throwback for me. I've been using Forms for a long time and have since moved on using some tools like Notion, Roam Research, a lot of those for journaling or other multimedia activities. But I recently, when doing my last annual review, realized there's a reason I want to go back to using Google Forms. So I want to share that with you, show you exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and explain a little bit more. This might be something that you can put to use in your reviews to really get more out of them. So let's jump into that. Hey, I'm Adam with the Productivity Academy, and if you've seen some of the previous videos I've done using Google Forms, I think it's really handy. They're simple to set up, but I did like having everything in one spot when doing my reviews. I certainly link out to external resources. I'm going to show you guys my exact setup here in a second, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about what I was doing and why. So it's not like I'm afraid of using Google Forms or think that it's not a good solution or anything like that. There's a lot of incredible stuff you can do with Google Forms that is really hard to do elsewhere. But I had wanted to kind of have everything be in one place. And with the advent a lot of AI tools, and honestly just using either ChatGPT or one of the other tools to help summarize and provide insights into my reviews, that is what is making me do the switch. On my last annual review, I went back through my quarterly entries and a lot of daily entries and went through there, and it was honestly kind of a pain in the butt in terms of admin work to go and copy and paste and get all of my entries out from these various questions I asked myself, such as, what am I procrastinating right now? What am I thankful for? Things like that. I could go through and get it, and a lot of times you just can do a quick mental review, scan the page, see what the patterns are. But for an annual review where I'm aggregating a lot of data, I really wanted to have kind of a, I guess if you would, an impartial third party to be able to summarize this. And I spent a lot of time formatting the data and just copy, pasting, deleting stuff, find and replace, and was like, there's got to be a better way to do this when I remembered Google Forms, because when you put an entry into Google Form, you can have it just dumped directly into a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, and then you can just copy and paste out of there the answers. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So here's an example. Let me move myself over here. So this is morning pages, or basically a daily template. So what are two things I'm grateful for? What's one thing I learned yesterday? And what am I avoiding that would bring me relief if I just did it? So what am I avoiding? And this isn't terrible. Like, I can go in and go into things I've learned or gratitude. Let's go in and check that out. But you can see that these come down, and now I've got all of this that I have to deal with, and I can adjust the dates, but I've got to go in here and grab it. Maybe I have to pull down this, and there's a lot of manual stuff to do to get all of this out of here for a quarter, much less a year. So if we go back into that, that's kind of the setup for this. We also have a weekly review, big win area. Where am I going to get the best results? How can I get more? What's one thing I can automate, delegate, or delete? And have I been working on my weekly goals? What's helped? And this process kind of repeats itself, daily, weekly, and then quarterly. I've got questions that I want to get answers to. So what I've done is just pop those into a Google form. Very simple, as you can see here. I'm going to reformat these. Obviously, I'm not in Roam Research anymore. I don't need to have the double brackets, but I can go through and clean these up later. And again, as I mentioned, the upside of this is that when you put your information into this, it can be exported directly into a Google Sheet. Which again, I can't overstate the awesomeness that is a Google Sheet. They connect to everything. I could probably automate even more of this and have it say, like, every 90 days, pipe it out via Zapier to somewhere else, give it a prompt, have it be sent off, have a AI review, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to do that yet, but just wanted to share some ideas with you where Google Sheets can be really, really powerful in terms of what can be done there. Okay, so that's the general idea. I don't think Google Forms is going to blow anybody's mind, but again, just wanted to show you in my daily review, I'm not putting everything in there. It's just those recurring questions. So from Roam, I have those over here. Let's go back. We've got the two things, the one thing, and what am I avoiding? If we go over here, we see two things, one thing, and then avoiding. Okay, same thing. And for me, they're optional. It's not required. If I miss a day, that's fine. If I just don't have anything to say occasionally, that's fine. The goal is just to prompt these responses. And then once, let's say it's a quarterly review and I want to get a summary of my daily reviews, well, I can go in and look at those, and I do. I certainly don't recommend just handing this off to like an AI chatbot and telling it to give you answers to life and everything. But go through, do a quick review, and then I do have some prompts set up. One of these is an example here you can see down here. Here's a few journal entries about what I'm grateful for over a period of a few months. Can you help me find patterns that can help me make a breakthrough? Be honest and direct, be specific, use examples, and provide a summary of your suggestions at the end. This sounds super simple, but I was honestly pretty blown away by some of the ideas that it came up with. And a lot of it is like anything, it's helping come up with ideas and maybe uncovering some blind spots. I'm not looking for something here to share with me something I had absolutely no idea about. I'm writing these notes. I understand what's going on in my life and my mind, but maybe it's been 2.5 months and I haven't remembered something that was a really big problem or a really cool solution. Maybe there's something that I'm mentioning a lot of times, but I'm just not consciously thinking about it all the time, but it picks up the pattern like, hey, this is mentioned a lot. That might be a problem. Here's, something you could do to take action on that. Okay, so obviously that goes beyond the gratitude, but a lot of these prompts, getting some responses back from a LLM or an AI chatbot like this can help you uncover some additional areas that maybe you're not thinking about. So I'll just say that I use these tools regularly, and I was fairly surprised by the quality of the response, which of course depends on the prompt you give it. So this is kind of the general pattern for that prompt that I would use for each of these. You could change it to, here are some things that I've wanted to automate, delegate, and delete over a period of a few months. Can you help me find patterns? Things like that. What am I ignoring, or what's causing, what's a pain point? Can you give me some ideas? And again, the whole idea of going to Google Forms is to get to this step, hit enter, and then get a response back, which is something that you can then act on or incorporate into your manual quarterly review, monthly review, weekly review, whatever that is. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. I'm going to be replacing in Roam those Google Form links, and just that's going to be the part of it in there where I just click on that. So I'm still going to be using Roam Research. Let's clear this up at the end for my reviews, and then I have that link to Google Forms. I go in, enter the info, and just go right back to Roam, but that way the data is entered there. And available. So if you think that this is something you would want to try or try integrating, I highly suggest giving it a shot. You can certainly do it manually, where you're taking your data from wherever you're regularly putting your information or journaling, like Notion, Roam, Obsidian, whatever it is. But if you want to save yourself some time, potentially this is a setup that would work for you. So if you have any questions or comments about this, be sure to leave a comment on the video and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.